So that's insane. It is Easter morning, and this is what we all get to wake up to because sleep apnea failed to do its job that the rest of the world is waiting for at this point. So the president goes out and it says that Tuesday will be power plant day, a bridge day, all wrapped up into one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. This is madness. This is madness. And the scriptwriters for the simulation have completely just given up at this point, because what other way is there really to explain this? This is the Lord's Day, and you have Christians all over the country right now wearing their pastel polos, going to church, going to the mega churches to sit down and hear about the Prince of Peace. At the same time, they're actively worshiping a commander-in-chief who wants to turn the Middle East into a Buc-ee's parking lot. I mean, it's a terrifying psychological experiment. That's what America has become, and it is a failed experiment at this point. And this is the leadership that we have in this country, because this kind of bloodlust is just, it's really unexplainable. But like I said, it's Easter, and nothing says he has risen quite like vaporizing the cradle of civilization before the Sunday ham even comes out of the oven.
Could a global lockdown be coming to the US for the summer of 2026? And why do I say that? Because countries all across the globe have already begun to ration fuel, and some countries have even run out, causing major panic at the pump. And if you haven't seen some of these videos, take a look at this.
Firstly,
Australia
now has 39 days of petrol, 1.6 billion litres, which is up very slightly. Diesel, 30 days, which is pretty flat, at 2.7 billion litres, and jet fuel, 30 days also.
The Philippines has become the first country in the world to declare a state of national energy emergency.
Pakistan, look at the lines to get fuel. Listen to this trucker.
Tank, been driving for about 500 kilometers with not a drop of diesel anywhere.
And if you don't think this is happening in the US, have a look at this. Check this out.
Now this is an eerie feeling when you pull up to the truck stop and all the gas is gone.
Okay, diseases, quick update. Disease X here, the currently nameless potential next pandemic, or did Elon Musk name you? I've killed over 150 people in the Congo and nobody knows exactly what I am. So the first one, although they do think I might be severe malaria. Put severe in front of anything and I'm happy. Hi, I'm New World Screwworm. Any different to Old World Screwworm? They found me in cattle coming from Mexico to the US, and I eat warm-blooded animals from the inside out, including humans. Oh yeah, then you can stay. Avian flu here. Don't need your government name, bird flu. Of course, the state of emergency in California, and the first severe case of me has been found in a human in Louisiana. That's great work, and there's that word severe again. Mpox here, severe cases of me in the US and the UK. All severe, 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 severe. There's almost 60,000 cases of me globally this year. Great work, cholera, but how when you're so preventable? You see, well, there's a more severe version. More severe version, of course. Dengue here, buenos dias. See, I was only spreading in South America, but now I'm global. Oh, bonjour, guten tag, and howdy then. And I'm mirror bacteria. Is this a time for reflection? Stupid. They're calling for scientists to halt the creation of me, as, long story short, I could destroy all life on Earth. And are scientists going to halt the creation of this potentially life-destroying bacteria? They're humans. No.
Hello, this is your Ukrainian friend, and Russia is hiding a disease outbreak that could affect the entire world food supply. So since early 2026, Russian authorities have been seizing and slaughtering livestock across Siberia, tens of thousands of animals. Farmers are protesting, officials show up, take their animals, offer almost no compensation, and refuse to show any test results. They just say, dangerous virus. That's it. The USDA, Kazakhstan, and China all believe this is a foot and mouth disease, one of the most contagious animal viruses on Earth. Russia is not reporting it because, if confirmed, they instantly lose their status as FMB free, which means losing all their meat and livestock export contracts worth billions of dollars. Meanwhile, China has already recorded 219 cases right on the Russian border. Kazakhstan has banned all Russian meat and dairy, and this is the same country that hid COVID information from the world. Russia lied about the war, Russia lied about COVID, now Russia is lying about a disease that is already spreading to its neighbors. Share this video, follow me on YouTube and Substack, and support my work through PayPal, Venmo. Links are in my bio, or grab this kind of merch at ukrainianfriend.com to represent and support and show that you care. Slava Ukraini.
Police departments all across the United States are closing down. And you wonder why this is happening? lack of funding. That's what's going on. While they let domestic violence and criminals go rampant, we're spending more money on the military, $1.4 trillion. But they don't have enough money for domestic security. So when they tell you it's because of national security, it's not because of national security, my friends. It's actually because they're broke. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police. That's what's going to happen. There's not going to be any police. When you call 911, the average wait time is 4 minutes. How long do you think it takes the human brain to start losing its brain capacity after it doesn't have oxygen? You guessed it, 4 minutes. So is it intentional? Is it not intentional? You be the judge. Help me reach 50,000 followers so we can get to the bottom of it. There you have it. Whoop, whoop.
So y'all trying to survive the apocalypse? I keep seeing all these videos telling us what to do to survive an apocalypse, what to do after a nuclear bomb. I didn't know we was trying to survive. I personally am not going to fight somebody over the last can of tuna, and I don't even like tuna. I sleep with a cooling blanket. I can't have too much dairy or I flare up. And me without sugar? And I can guarantee you the dispensaries are not going to make it. I have seen The Walking Dead. You want me to go from woods to woods and hopping from abandoned warehouse to abandoned shack? Let one spider run over my foot in those woods. Everybody's going to know our location. I am absolutely the weakest link. And I'm not going to bring somebody down with me. I'm not trying to survive. No air conditioning. We gotta walk everywhere? No shot. I'll pass.
Shalom, welcome to another video, and as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachodash, and next double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. All right, this is going to be a reaction to this compilation that I came up with of different videos on TikTok, things going on around the world, different fears people are having that are rising. And essentially what's going on is that the stage is being set for global catastrophe. All right, Jacob's trouble, just as the scriptures say. All right, fear and terror upon the nation. So it's a beautiful thing, all right, because we know that according to biblical prophecy, that when this society goes down, that we will be free and Heavenly Father's will be the first fruits of the kingdom. I'll be delivered out of this final captivity. So I'm just going to bring out some precepts on that topic. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Yahweh Ratazah, meaning Heavenly Father's will. It's edifying to the elect. Starting off in 2 Ezra 15 and verse 1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh." So that's what we do constantly. We prophesy, okay, of doom and gloom, out of war, of evil, of pestilence, just as the scriptures say that the prophets did before us. It says, "And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." Why? "For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." So don't worry about whether people believe it or not, because when we prophesy of destruction upon this society, Babylon the Great, which is the United States of America, people always say, no, you guys are crazy. We don't believe that. Don't worry about it. Don't matter whether you believe it or not. All the unfaithful are going to die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And that's what we saw, all right, in those clips, in that compilation I came up with. Okay, we saw all these things the stage being set for all these things to come to pass. Okay, war, disease, famine. All right, you had a guy in there talking about how, he had a video saying, this is how my family's going to look at me after they see me delete 4 people, during the apocalypse is what they call it, all right, which biblically is Jacob's trouble. All right, and then, you had a video in there where a guy was saying that, that police stations across the United States are closing down. So the Most High, he's setting it up, man. He's setting up for pure chaos, all right, to grip this world, okay? It says, verse 6, for wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. That's why he's bringing these things. And therefore, saith Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore, saith Yahweh, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. So this is the vengeance of the Heavenly Father against the nations for what they've done to the just. All right. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And that's going into the spiritual Egypt spoken of in Revelation 11 and 8. All right. This is the land of captivity, the house of bondage for the children of Israel. All right. It says, but I will bring them again. I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And that's what we're getting ready to witness. Okay, all the gas prices going up, hyperinflation. They talking about diseases. All right, talking about police stations closing across the country. All right, all kind of things happening, man. All right, this is plagues the Most High is smiting Egypt with. All right, it says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. It's a famine. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And modern day sword is a gun. Okay, any instrument of killing, that's the modern day sword. All right, and that's what we're getting ready to see. Okay, like you saw that Edomite. Okay, he's already ready. They're meditating upon this. They're thinking about it. Okay, they're excited to go out there and slaughter. Okay, they want to go back to their roots. Okay, to steal, to kill, and to destroy. All right, and that woman, she said, I don't want to fight anybody over the last can of tuna. Well, see, that's how it's going to get. All right, that's the reality of, what we're coming into. All right, we're coming into the time where people are going to be spoiling each other. It's going to tell you that as we keep reading. All right, it says, for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. We're seeing sedition. Sedition is uprisings against the established government or authority. Okay, or speech inciting rebellion against the established authority or government. We're seeing that. Sedition among men. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Okay, when all hell breaks loose, people are not going to be, paying attention to the laws of the land. They're not going to be paying attention to the government authorities. They're going to be trying to get it how they live. They got to feed their families. All right. So like your phone call. Yeah, I lost my place. Where was I at? The course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right, meaning, as I stated before, they're not going to, respect the government authorities. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, that's martial law. Okay, and I did a video months ago. All right, this that the government announced that they were setting up a fast action response team. All right. Okay, for I think that's what they called it, fast action response team with every National Guard unit in each state. Okay, for riot control, et cetera, et cetera. So, they're expecting people to rise up against the established authority, and they're going to implement martial law. It's all a part of their New World Order. All right, which they, you hear about was Agenda 2030 or something like that. Okay, and people on TikTok have been going into that, saying that everything that's happening is pretty much, word for word what Agenda 2030, says that they would happen. But of course, we know that it's all Bible prophecy. Okay, continuing on, it says, For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. All right, just like the guy in the video, he said he'll delete a whole family of 4 to make sure that his eat. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, and that's what the stage is being set for, the great tribulation, also known as Jacob's trouble. Okay, so I just wanted to share this compilation of videos with you guys, of clips. Salakia for how long it was, but once again, the stage is being set for global catastrophe. All right, so brace for impact, and this is the time to be praying to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai constantly and hoping for mercy in the days to come. All right, with that being said, I'm going to close out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rach. And until next time, Shalom wa Abad B'Bal.